Welcome! Today I'm going to show you how to master 4 simple violin patterns that will allow you not only to play hundreds of songs, but most importantly, beautifully. Many of my adult students couldn't play violin a few months ago, but after they learned those 4 patterns, they could play many songs like Beethoven Ode to Joy perfectly. And this with only 15 minutes a day. First, we'll see what the 4 patterns are. Then we'll see the best exercises to master them. And then we'll see how to apply this to play new songs beautifully in a matter of days instead of months. And this with only 15 minutes a day. So the first thing to understand is that when you look at hundreds of pieces, you will see that they all share the 4 same simple patterns. And the most common mistakes is that adults try to master single songs instead of mastering the pattern that will allow them to play all the songs with this pattern. Let us first have a look at the Ode to Joy. I will play it a little bit. If we look at the entire piece, we'll see that we actually have only 5 notes. The D open string, the E first finger, F sharp second finger, G third finger, A fourth finger. And those 4 fingers build something we call a finger pattern. Because they don't sit randomly on the strings, they have a very specific pattern. Basically, between the first and the second finger we have an empty space, the second and the third finger are close together, and between the third and the fourth finger we have again an empty space. Here you can see this pattern very clearly, and mastering this pattern will allow us to play then the Ode to Joy in a matter of minutes perfectly. And on top of that, to play hundreds of other songs with the same finger pattern. For example, this is When the Saints Go Marching In. And here, the same thing. We have, for the whole piece, the same second finger pattern on the D string. And the good news is that there is only 4 finger patterns you need to master to play 99% of songs. On top of the second finger pattern we just learned, you have the third finger pattern, with the third and fourth finger close to each other. Then you have the first finger pattern with the first and second finger pattern close to each other. And then the fourth finger pattern with all fingers spread apart, like that. And by the way, if you want to learn to play the violin beautifully and you are an adult beginner, we are organizing a free violin masterclass. You will find the link below this video. Now we'll see the best violin exercises to master those finger patterns. And you will only need to practice those exercises for 15 minutes a few times per week. And we'll see 1 exercise in each finger pattern on each string so that you can master everything in the smallest amount of time. For the D string, we'll focus on the second finger pattern with the second and third finger together. And the first thing you could do is a simple scale. The scale is the most common pattern you will find everywhere. For playing the scale, you will start from the lowest note on the string, here the D open strings, and play every note till the 4th finger on your string. That means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then come back, like that. Now the thing is, it's not enough to just repeat this exercise over and over. You need to practice it the right way to master it. So before you start playing your exercise, the first thing you always want to do is that you want to calibrate every note. The easiest way to do that is actually to use a recording, like the one of the exercise I just played. Close your eyes, play at the same time and try to match the note. Until it sounds like 1. At the same time, you want to check that your posture is perfect, but I have other videos about that. And then you want to play the exercises in half note first. Then in quarter note, that's mean 1 note per beat. and then in eighth note with 2 notes per beat. So now let's see how to master the other finger pattern and the other string with different exercises. For the third finger pattern, in the Violin Pyramid Method, we use the G string with those exercises. Basically, we are doing the same as the scale here, but you are breaking it down per 2 note combination. First only G, A, then only A to B, one first to second finger, then B to C sharp, second to third finger, and C sharp to D, 3 to 4. For the finger pattern, you could train it on the A string. You will have B, C, second finger, D, and E, with B and C close to each other. Here you could, for example, focus on pattern of third, playing first A to C, or B to D, or C to E. And for the fourth finger pattern, you could practice it on the E string. That means you will have E, F, G, A, B with all fingers apart. But the right way of finding this position on the violin is actually to start with the first finger pattern, with the first and the second finger close to each other, and then move only the first finger backwards like that, without moving the hand or the entire arm. That means this, and not that. Here you could, for example, practice a scale in third. That means you will play first an open string, then the G second finger, then the F first finger, A third finger, G second, B fourth finger. And then you come back, you do the opposite. So now let us see how to learn any song quickly. What we just did will allow you to play any of those 4 finger patterns perfectly, but then when you play a piece, what will allow you to learn them very fast is to understand very quickly which pattern you have. That means instead of thinking notes per note, you want to develop a visual pattern map for the entire piece. We already saw that for the Ode to Joy, for example, you had only the second finger pattern for the entire piece. Now let's look this piece from Dvorak New World. Yeah, if we look, the 4 first bars, they are all on the D string, and they all have the same second finger pattern. And if we look at the next 4 bars, they are on the A strings. But here's the same, we have only the second finger pattern. That means that I don't need to ask myself for every note where it is on the violin. I just need to know 2 things. I need to know which finger pattern I have. Here is the second finger pattern on the A string and the D string, and which finger I need to play. Here, how to identify that yourself for any piece. And the first thing is that you need to know for each note on your music sheet which note it is, how it is called, and with which finger it is being played. Here you can see all the notes from the G open string to the 4th finger on the E string. And here you can see the same note where they are on the violin. So when you have a new piece, the first thing you want to see is to use a graph like this one and remove the notes that you don't need. For example, in Dvorak New World, if I check it, I will see that I don't need the G string, I don't need all those notes on the E string either. Then the second thing, when I look at it, is that I have an F sharp and a C sharp the whole time. That's what here I will need to adjust that. F sharp means that my note will be higher, so instead of being close to the E, it will be close to the G. and the same with my C. Instead of being close to the B, it will be close to my D. So that in the end, it will look like that. And you want to repeat this process for every part of your piece so that you know exactly where to put the fingers. That will allow you to really master the left hand. And now, if you want to learn how to have a beautiful sound, I have another video here for you.